Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. You are probably seeing this on Friday morning because it is close to midnight. I'm up again, okay? Yesterday, after I came on, I said that I wasn't going to take a nap. I was going to fight it. I fell asleep at about 10 and woke up at 1. So you know what that means. I didn't get into bed until 7 o'clock this morning. But I did get up at 5. No. What time did I get up? I said 5. No, I fell asleep at 5 today. I went to sleep at 7 in the morning and I got up at 12. I set the alarm for 5 hours later. So I got on up and then I made a run today and everything. And I came home and next thing I know, 5 o'clock, I was out. And so, but I only slept about an hour. Although I'm wide awake now, I still may be able to get to sleep later. Anyway, so I just turned off the Olympics, so I said, well, let me come on for a little bit. First of all, Diana, thank you for your video today. Yes, I checked out that website, and I'm definitely going to order. I said either 2 of the garden tables that you have, and then one of the smaller square ones, or they had this big one that it was like 2 tables, but then it connected. I believe it looked like a U shape. I could be wrong. I'm trying to get the visual back, but it was a large enough garden bed to where it would serve all the needs that I have as far as standing up and gardening. And that one was a little more expensive, but basically if I got that one, it would be cheaper than what it would be for the 2 larger ones plus the smaller one. But I thought the prices were reasonable actually. And so I said, instead of doing, because I was kind of worried about the cinder block beds. They're beautiful, and I like the concept of the cinder blocks because you can plant inside of the holes that are on the side. I know Hollis and Nancy's homestead, they like to plant onions in their holes and whatnot, and I've seen them plant other things in there too. And so I like that idea. But what I was most worried about is lifting those cinder blocks. And then, of course, I would need mine stacked too high so that I won't have to bend. And I think it would have been a little bit too much for me. And then I was trying to solicit help to do that. And y'all know how that goes. So I said, maybe there's something better out there. I had thought about that. So your video was on time and in time, okay? So what I'm going to do is, like I did with the greenhouse, after the other one collapsed, I just took out a loan to get my greenhouse and everything. And so it was just a short loan. They approved it right away. It's only for a couple of $100 or whatever. You can go as high as $500 for the little short loan. And then you pay it off in like 6 months. So mine is almost paid off. In fact, it'll be paid off. I said October, I believe, but actually it'll be paid off in September because I'm getting ready to hit an extra payment on tomorrow. And that will put me ahead enough. I've done it a couple of other times. It'll put me ahead to where when my September payment come out, that'll be it. It'll be done. And then I finished off my big loan that I had that I got for the trees a year ago. So because of that, I'm going to take out another small loan, but it'll be in the winter simply because I don't want to get the tables right now because I would need to get, dirt. I would need to assemble. So I'd rather do that in the upcoming spring as soon as the weather breaks. So I said I would order the tables probably in February, but let me know, Diana, because if your code goes off before then and everything, let me know. Then I'll do it sooner, so that I can take advantage of that and help you out. If not, then, I'll wait until then because that'll be a lot easier for me to do. So they can come in February. I'll just have them in the house, drag them out come March once the weather breaks. And if the weather breaks in February, I can assemble them before then. And that was very easy assembly. And me with my little power drill, it's going to go quick, with the assembly. I like the way that it assembles too, and I like that rubber part that goes on top of it so that your hands are protected and whatnot. So I look forward to that. I look forward to it. And I'm going to retire those garden tables. Actually, Emily from Grow Pontiac, her husband made those tables for me back when I first joined the club, when Emily found out that I was caring for my mother at the time and couldn't come to the meetings and everything. She said, well, my husband can build you some tables if you'd like to still garden, because I really wasn't. I had like 3 little garden boxes at my old home that were already there when I moved there. So every year I would plant a little something in them, but it wasn't nothing much. And I had really missed gardening. And so she had her husband to build me those 3 tables, and he did that free of charge. And so then I gave a nice donation to Growing Pontiac because he did that, because he supplied the wood and everything. All I had to do was fill it up with the soil. So anyway, he did that, build them for me, and within a week, he brought them to the house, and he set them up for me, set them where I wanted them, and I was able to garden for the last few years of my mother's life. I think, let's see, I moved in that house in 2017. I got the tables that same year, and so for 2018 and 19 and 20, so for 3 years I got the garden, and my mother got to enjoy it because my mother, she gardened with our neighbor. And so whenever I did a garden, prior to my mother's stroke, she would always tell me, plant this, plant that, and whatnot. And so, and then after her stroke and I was caring for her, when I told her, okay, I've got a garden this year, what do you want planted? And she'd be green beans and plant some cucumbers. She'd tell me what all to plant. And so I would plant what she wanted me to plant. And then, boy, when I would bring that harvest in, she would be so happy. In fact, I have film footage of her enjoying when I would bring the harvest in. I would always film her reaction to certain things, and she would just be so happy for it and whatnot. So, that's why I like working in my garden now, because it reminds me of my mother. That's why I'm a big green bean fan, because she loved green beans. If anything else, if nothing else, green beans had to be in the garden for her. And every year she planted some green beans, and then she wanted me to cook them and all that stuff. And then my mother, she used to string peppers. They would grow peppers, and then she would have me to string them. And so I said that I was going to string a batch this year. I said she'd haunt me if she knew I was dehydrating peppers, because she always strung them. And so anyway, in fact, I might string 3 of these. I've got 1, 2, because I've got quite a few. I'll show them to you in a minute. I might just throw a string in these 3 just in memory of my mother. But anyway, so this is what I'll be up doing tonight until I get sleepy. So I'll be getting the peppers de-seeded and cut, ready for the dehydrator. And then I've got my patty pan here. So I cut some chunks out of it to get the essence of Booger out of it, because remember, Booger took a little bite out of it. So I don't want no parts of him on this patty pan. So I'm going to get it cut. And once I get it cut, I will be putting it in this freezer bag and freezing it. So at least I get one. And then I still have some from last year, because believe me, I had 1 million patty pans last year. That the Keyhole Garden really produced them last year, and they didn't take off until the later part of August. So that one patty pan that's already in the Keyhole Garden, it might mess around and take off. I know there's a patty pan on there, but I don't know if it got pollinated or not. We'll see. Then I processed my garlic. So here it is right here. I cut the shoots off. I left the the shoots and the whatever that stuff is that dies off. So I cut all that off, and then I washed it. It's still kind of dirty at the bottom, so I'm just waiting on them to dry, and then I will get them stored. I had a total of 24 bulbs, so that's not bad. And it smells good. I can smell it. Some of them, they're various sizes, and I am going to put some to the side. My bigger bulbs, well, 2 of the bigger ones, well, I got quite a few. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 of them are bigger bulbs. And then I have some smaller ones, you know, and whatnot. So I'm going to mix them up, but I'm going to put at least 6 or 7 of these bulbs away to plant this fall. Because remember, you know, you take it apart, and so each bulb is going to give you at least 7 cloves. Yeah, about 7, 6 to 7 cloves for each bulb. So that would be 30 garlic, you know, if I do 6 or 7 of these. And then I'm getting some more from Grow Pontiac. She said that she'll have them again this year. So therefore, I'm going to plant quite a few of those. And I think I'm going to plant them probably in the keyhole garden. That's probably where I'm going to stick them. They weren't bad up front, and they weren't bad in that back bed, but since that back bed is going to be null and void, in fact, I'll probably be taking that apart once the corn and whatever else in there is harvested. I'm gonna probably take that wood, you know, from that and do something else with it. So anyway, so because of that, I don't want to plant in that spot when I know that I'm gonna be getting a new garden table. So the keyhole garden would be a good spot for the garlic. And then next year it'll be there. And then after that, then I will use whatever, you know, area that I have. And then the other thing I've been doing is working on, and I'm going to turn the camera around a little bit. First of all, remember the Que-stead-Que bag I just finished? Well, I had enough yarn left that I figured I could get another one made, and I did. So there's that first one that you guys saw. So I made that one last week, and I decided that's going to be a set of market bags. So I said I was going to go get some lining to line it, and I'll still do that, but it's going to be used Saturday because I'm going to this farm market that I'm about to tell you about. Then I'm working on, this is my Que-stead-Que bag. I call it the one that got away. I made a bag just like that back in 2015, and I love that bag. And I messed around one day right after I made it because I loved it. And I used to go to dialysis with my mother. I attended every session with her because that was when she had to go into dialysis. I made the promise to her. I said, you won't do this alone. I said, I'll come with you. So that's what I did. So my mom had to be transported via ambulance to dialysis 3 times a week. And then I drove. And so I went to all of her sessions with her. The only time I wasn't there is if I was sick or whatever. But for the most part, I was there with her every day. So I sat with her every day, and I would crochet and whatnot every day, or read or whatever, had the iPad or whatever. But anyway, I had made that particular bag, just like that. And I took it in, and I guess it jumped out at one of the techs, and she offered me top dollar for that bag on the spot, okay? And me and my greed said, okay, because she was getting ready to go on vacation. And I forgot how much she offered me for that bag. I know it was like $100 or something like that. And so I went on because I said, well, she likes the bag. I can always make another one. Well, unbeknownst to me, the yarn that I used to make the bag had been discontinued, and which is the pink. You know, you can always find red and white. And the pink yarn had been discontinued. And so I did the bag. I mean, I let her get the bag. She paid me for it right then and there. And I had another bag with me to put my stuff in, my crocheting and stuff. And that was the end of it. And I regretted it because when I found out that yarn was discontinued, I knew I was never going to get this bag again. Well, what happened was they started making the yarn again, and I had bought some, but it still wasn't enough. And I couldn't find it anymore after I had found it. And so I had an old bag that had a little bit of the pink in it. And that bag, JD, back in the back in February when we had first went fishing at the island, I had caught this big bass. And JD decided we were going to sneak that bass home. And I thought he was putting it in one of the plastic bags to hide it in the trunk. He put it in my Que-stead-Que bag that was in the trunk. And it was the bag that had that pink yarn. So I ended up needing to wash the bag. And so at that point, the yarn, it looked, old, because once you wash one of these bags, then the yarn, it looks kind of worn. So I said, well, I can go on and take the pink from this bag because it had been washed and worn, but now it looks new again because once you recrochet it, it looks brand new all over again. So that's how I was able to make the bag that got away. And so I'm not done yet. I have 4 rows of white. Then I'll have 3 more rows of the pink. And this is how much is left, and it's more than enough. Then after that, I have 4 rows of the red. I have plenty of the red. Some of it is in the bag too. And then after the 4 rows of red, then I'll be done and I'll make the handles, and the handles are going to be red when it's over and done with. So I'll show it to y'all when it's done. I won't finish it tonight, but it'll be finished sometime this weekend. Okay, so we're at 15 minutes, so I'm almost done here. So the other thing is, I said I was going to start looking, and there's my fingers again doing that. I said I was going to start looking for the farmer's market because I always go to my farmer's markets to supplement whatever I don't have in the garden. For instance, onions. I want to get some onions that were grown, out of the ground from the farmers. I might supplement with a few potatoes. I'll just see what they have to offer. I'm definitely going to need squash. And hopefully I can find some patty pan, but that's rare in Michigan. People just don't grow it. They want to grow the yellow squash and the zucchini and your winter squashes, like your butternut, the acorns and all that. But somebody might mess around and have a patty pan somewhere. Well, I found a farmer's market that's right outside of Detroit, about 10 minutes from me. And this place is huge. In fact, I went on Facebook. If you all on Facebook, pull up the Royal Oak Farmers Market, and then you'll see a video on that page of her doing a tour of that particular farmers market. When I say they had everything, I mean everything. And they have a herbalist there. I was looking and I saw that this herbalist sold mullein, comfrey, all this stuff, all these different herbs. He had books. So I plan to go Saturday, either Saturday or Sunday. Because Saturday they're open from 7 a.m. until 1, but Sunday they're open from 8 a.m. until 3. So I think I prefer to probably go Sunday. So, and it's set up like a little flea market. They have so many vendors there, food vendors. The bee man is there where they sell honey, honeycomb. And I love honeycomb. I've ordered that before offline. And honeycomb is better than honey. But I still want to get another bottle of honey. I've got 2 bottles in there, but this guy had the big bottle, so I want to get a big bottle. And he has different honeys. He has the buckwheat honey, the flower honey, different things, where the bees pollinated from. So, and honeys are different like that, depending on where those bees did the pollination from. So I want to see what he has to offer. They had food vendors, cookies, sweets, all kind of stuff, health things. It was just so much there. I spent an hour watching that video and I did not even finish it. And so this lady, did this tour and she wasn't even done after an hour. So I'm grabbing a scooter. It's already in the car. It's charged up and I'm heading there this weekend. And I'm taking those 2 Que-stead-Que bags to carry my stuff in, as I buy, because I know I'm going to be buying some stuff while I'm there. In fact, I'm going to take those 2 bags and probably a couple of more just in case. Okay, you guys, so that's basically it for the evening. So I've already watched the Olympics this evening. Go USA, Simone. Track and field starts tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to start on these peppers. I'm thinking, you know what, I might wait because that's another thing. When I go to the farmer's market, I'm going to see what peppers they have sweet-wise. They might have some different varieties. So I think I can let these hold off. I'll put them in the fridge and let them hold, or freezer. In fact, I'll put them in the freezer. That way they'll stay fresh. And then I'll take them out on Sunday or whenever I get the peppers from the farmer's market, whatever day, probably Sunday or next Monday. I can unthaw these or cut them. I can cut these frozen. In fact, they'll be easier to cut frozen. And then I can do that right now. Now I will get that squash cut up, but I'm going to go and throw these in the freezer bag right now. They're already washed. So I'll revisit the peppers once I get the peppers from the market. because I'm quite sure somebody's going to have some. I'm also going to pick up a few onions. It don't have to be a whole bunch. I'll probably get maybe 3 or 4 onions, cut them up, chop them up, and I'm going to make some onion powder. I'll dehydrate the onions and make some onion powder. And if there's anything else that I feel that I can dehydrate and make something out of, seasoning-wise, I will. That'll be, my goal. So, and I plan on taking y'all on that trip, too, when I go. So anyway, I'm at 20 minutes, so let me stop right now. And so I'm going to get off of here. And you guys have a wonderful morning, I would assume, because unless you're up late tonight, you won't see me until tomorrow. So have a wonderful morning, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.